All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This will most likely be our last golf podcast for the season. It's been a hell of a run. We're very happy to have Rob back from the motherland. He has that beautiful olive oil skin. He brought back in a little sun kiss from North Wildwood. And then Nicholas is back with us. We got some reviews. The fans liked them. They aren't ready to give him a permanent position, but they did want to get another test drive with him. So Nicholas is back. We're happy to have both of you back. And I think we get into it. Nicholas, you've played St. Andrews. So I guess walk us through what you think the most important part of this course is.
Yeah, so the times that I've played it, I would say just right off the bat, you have a lot of room off the tee. So I would say the key factors for these guys are going to be putting and short game because the greens are a mile long. So you're going to have long putts. The bumping and running and the short game is going to be key for these guys. Who can go up and down? Who can make those birdies? Like I said, off the tee, you have plenty of room. It's really going to be coming down to the short game and really try to stick iron shots close to the pin. I would say that's the majority of it. Like I said, you have a lot of room off the tee, and these guys, hardly miss.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all smoking the ball. I mean, I feel like the running theme with every major this year thus far has been like who is hitting their irons the best that week. And I feel like typically whoever's been doing that, you saw it with Fitzpatrick on Sunday. He only missed one green in regulation. So like that is what wins you majors.
Yeah,
And I feel like especially at a course like this.
I would say also course management is a big thing because if you're in one of those bunkers, those fairway bunkers, you're taking a penalty for it. You can't go for the green. You're chipping out. So I would say course management. A lot of these guys don't hit drivers off the tee on some of these holes because the ball rolls a mile.
Man, they don't have to.
No, they
I
don't.
mean, when you're hitting your irons like they do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I feel like it doesn't do them any justice. Rob, how do we feel about it? I'm excited to just get the ball rolling for you. Like you've been out of the game for a little while. I feel like you've been kind of out of touch with the PGA Tour this year, and I just feel something special coming out of your card this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, PGA Tour is a hot topic. There's definitely a lot going on, but I needed the time away personally to kind of reflect because I love staring at the unit number for the TYP PGA numbers, the golf numbers. But like I know deep down, and the true followers know deep down, a lot of that is not coming from me. That's a lot of your hard work. So I really need to get off Schneid with a good one here with the Open. I told you guys before I came on, before we came on the cast, like this is one of my favorite tournaments, hands down, right up there, if not even better than Augusta to me, and that's the Open at St. Andrews. And I love like hearing about it, like like from Nicholas' perspective, like having played it, so that's awesome. And it kind of fits with like just kind of like the guys that I've been looking at. So I can't wait for it either. I mean, so the last time they played at St. Andrews for the Open was 2015. If you guys remember, that was the showdown with Mickelson and Stenson when they went like just totally.
That was an awesome one.
That was just crazy Sunday. They were just speaking of like hitting your shots on Sunday and hitting your irons, man. They were just drilling shots all over the pin, both of them going like back and forth, and that was like a great finish. So, I'm hoping for something like just as good as that. And I mean, with all the firepower in the field, and then just like the mix of the field that's the Open, I think that's like one of the reasons why it's awesome. And we were talking about like how there's going to be guys that you don't see on the PGA Tour. They play overseas, guys that are also really good players that are going to be on the leaderboard that you're not going to be familiar with. But at the same time, on a tournament like this, and on our side, on a betting perspective too, it gives you a lot of value.
Yeah. There's definitely some value plays out there. I feel like this board looks a little saturated at the top. I feel like it's really tough to bet some of the marquee names. But if you just are patient and wait a day or two, you can possibly get a much better number. That's what I would do with the big name guys, would just sit and be patient. If the opportunity strikes, then you can pull the trigger on Rory, Xander, Fitzpatrick, those kind of guys. I feel like there isn't good value with the odds that we're getting right now.
I think with some of the guys that might be a good pick are the older, well-known guys. Like I said, this is like the Augusta, like Robert said, the Augusta of, the Open. It's all about how you've played here before. So a lot of the older guys will come out of the woodwork, like a Justin Rose and Adam Scott. Those guys haven't been playing as well this year, but this tournament at St. Andrews, I wouldn't be surprised if they're at the top of that leaderboard.
Another name I would mention in that same line of thinking would be Louis, because we haven't seen Louis much recently, and lives a whole nother thing that we can get to at this point or some other time. But how does Louis and some of the other guys like Bryson, Nicholas mentioned the forgiveness off the tee. From what I've seen, Bryson fits perfectly for the course because of that. And so how does that impact him? Is he or anybody else from there a threat this week? And like I said, those older veteran guys, Louis Oosthuizen always finds his way up towards the top.
Mm-hmm.
About short game and particularly putting, one of the best putters in the world. We can get into it, but I couldn't find any value plays on Louis right now. Maybe he falls into that category of, like you said, Mike, wait and see, one of those guys. Wait and see if you could play himself into it late and jump on early or a little before that. But I know he'll find his way up to the top of the leaderboard somehow.
Yeah, 40-1 doesn't seem real with Louis' current form and situation. Like, the cast of characters he's right in there with, like, Louis is not remotely close to their pedigree at this given moment. That's how I personally feel about it.
Because they probably think he's in La La Land when he's playing at Live. I mean, what is it? What are they, just blasting music? And I feel like they don't have a care in the world.
I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know how much you guys have checked it out, but I haven't heard any music, at least with the parts that I've seen. But I don't know what's going on over there.
I love Tiger laying the hammer down in the press conference right before.
What did he say?
He said that he pretty much just dissed all of them, that they didn't give the tour a chance, that they're going against the tour. So I felt like the way that he was talking is when those guys left Live, it was like a shot was taken at Tiger. And I don't know, it kind of fired me up because it made you not like the Live guys as much when Tiger starts talking bad about it.
Yeah, Tiger could say just about anything, and I'll agree with him.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
I mean, the big guys, like the marquee guys that are vital to the tour, have been like very vocal and adamant, like Tiger, Rory. And then even some other guys have stepped up that you would expect to make noise. Like a guy like Billy Horschel. Like how about like was it last week? He had a scathing kind of review of all those guys and everything that was going on over there.
Yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Ho said it at the best time. He got a huge payday, and he grinded it out. So everything he said, I thought was fair. He's like, He got it the hard way. So, All right, let's get into this one a little bit. I'm excited, and I just like the best part about this is you could wake up at any time in the morning and golf is on. And it's like there's nothing better. I have a couple dark horses, Rob. I know you feel the same way about some guys. There's a name that just keeps popping up on my radar, and it's Jordan Smith. I don't know if I'm prepared to bet him outright at 150-1, but I am taking him top 5, top 10, without a doubt in my mind. And I got him 22-1 and 20 or 11-1, top 5, top 10. And that's a 1-unit official play by me.
If someone said, I have $1 million for you, if you can just tell me what Jordan Smith looks like, I would not have that $1 million.
I told you I've never seen the guy play golf. And this isn't a freaking fashion show.
Well, he's a darling. He's a dark horse darling this week, guy, because he burst it like. For those that are paying attention and fellow degenerates, right, at the Scottish Open last week, like he kind of was in contention at the end. And he kind of just is a really solid player. So now it's like can he hold up for the Open the following week and compete? And everywhere that I've looked shows that he's either in like a model, like a statistical model for whatever I run, or otherwise and like other ones that we look at has value against all the books, either as an outright top 5, top 10, whatever you're comfortable with. I have him personally, I have him written down like for top 10. right at 11-1. So that's where I went in at. I'll take a little piece of that, and kind of see where that goes. That whole this love for Jordan Smith, but it's interesting. Kid's a player.
But I get that. Like, he might statistically be the guy, but if he's paired up with a famous guy, a Tiger Woods, or he's in contention, does he crap his pants?
You saw that with Cameron Tringale last Saturday.
Yeah.
I think he shot +6, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday when he had a 4-stroke lead.
Yeah.
Going into the round.
St. Andrews.
They were putting out 59 records. That's this game. Like, in one moment, it's about whether he's gonna break 60, and next, he completely plays himself out of it. So, and this thing is it's a major tournament, so we're gonna see even higher profile guys do the same thing, like rise and fall. So, but hey, like I'm like we mentioned coming on, there's gonna be guys up there, that we may not be used to seeing regularly on the PGA Tour, maybe like Jordan Smith, that are going to be in contention, find their way up there, play well. So I'm all about hopping on, and I'm taking a bite at top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as the Mito Pereira.
Yeah.
I don't still know how to say his last name. But, like, guy comes out of nowhere. Nobody's ever heard of him. He quickly becomes a household name. And it's just like, all you got to do is bring it for a couple of days and then just keep your wits about you. And like I said, is Jordan Smith going to win it? I'm not putting my money on that, but I do feel strong enough with everything I've run that his name is consistently up there towards the top. I will bet him to be around come Sunday. I feel good enough about that. Nicholas, I know you said there's a couple guys you really like to win it. Let's hear what those are.
So I'm going to go with the no names, the top guys. I think Schauffele, you have to bet him. He's just playing so well this year. He won last year. Not last year, last week. His game's on point. I mean, I think he's top 10 automatically. Other than that, I like Jordan Spieth. He's been playing well this year. A lot of people count him out, but he always does show up at the British Open. So I like him. Shane Lowry. I'm usually not a fan of him. I mean, I like him as a golfer, but I'm just like, he just doesn't he doesn't look like he should be playing. Looks like he should be eating in a hot dog eating contest.
Hey, whoa. Last time he won, he looked like he had the best time of his life. What's wrong with that?
I know. I was just saying. But somehow he shows up every time, so I'm going to bet him to win. And then my dark horse, who's been floating under the radar this year, is Tommy Fleetwood. I'm going to be betting Tommy Fleetwood to win.
I hate Tommy Fleetwood for no reason. I have no idea why. Like, I just can't stand to look at him. I feel like you feel the same way about Cam Smith. You hate Cam Smith. I hate Tommy Fleetwood.
I mean, yeah. Cam Smith has like a little rat stash and horrible.
All right. Hey, well.
Cam Smith slander on this.
That's my guy.
Right here.
I like them. Like I said, a couple of those older guys, I might bet like Justin Rose, Adam Scott, top 20, top 10. I think those old guys come out of the woodwork at St. Andrews.
I really like the Justin Rose thought, and I haven't really looked into him at all, but I really like the idea that you brought up, and I think that's somebody I feel like I like and have known for 20 years.
He screwed me in the Masters, and I wanted to legit kill him, but I feel like for this tournament, he's going to come back and redeem himself.
I definitely think he'll be in the mix come Sunday. I could definitely see that. So my one official play for outrights is Cam Smith. And he doesn't fit all the molds. I'm not seeing him on a lot of the stuff that I'm putting together, but there's just something in my heart that's telling me Cam's winning this major. And I feel like at 25-1, you're getting a fair price on Cam, just with the recent numbers from Rory, Xander, Fitzpatrick. They're kind of driving his price down a little bit. So with that number, I'm absolutely pulling the trigger on Cam Smith, and then I'm going to probably sit on a couple of the other guys and make a play on them later in the tournament. But the only pre-tournament outright bet that I have is going to be Cam Smith. Rob, who do you like?
I mean, I'll touch on. I like a lot of the guys we mentioned, so I'm taking Cam Smith too. I'm taking him at 28-1 over at DK, and that was the best I found for him. I don't think there's a whole lot of value in terms of his number. I do think the 28-1's a little short for the tournament, but he fits everything that I've seen, and looks like he's ready to compete in this one. I see that too. So I like Cam. I think for me, Shoffley at this point is just an obligatory play. I don't want to miss out at this point. 18-1 is the best I've seen at 365. Yeah, put me down for Shoffley as well. I don't want to miss it. Joaquin Neiman at 55. 55-1 at Bet365. That's a really good price, I think, for him. So I put me down for that as well. Scheffler at 20-1 at Bet365 as well. I think is a half decent number if you want to go with the number one player in the world. And then my favorite outright, the Fighting Irish. I'm all about the Fighting Irish this weekend. And Shane Lowry at 22-1 over at DK. That's the best I got for Shane Lowry. But I like Shane. I like the way he matches up. It's his game. This is the major. He has won before the Open. I don't see any reason why he couldn't play well or major level at St. Andrews either. With the way he's, especially we talk about is it going to get windy? Is it not going to get windy? Whether it does or doesn't, I'm more than happy to ride Shane Lowry. So I like him this week too.
Do you like any of those guys that come out of the gate hot for leader after round one?
I didn't throw any. I don't have anything in right now for leader after round one. I have some first round action in the works right now on some 3-ball, but I would if we're talking first round leaders, I would take a stab. I would throw darts at any of the big guys that we're playing on outrights. Just to see if they're hot early. First round. The other way I like to play first round is take somebody like Nicholas mentioned, like a Justin Rose, an Adam Scott, Louis Reason, a guy who maybe you're not ready to invest on as an outright or even in one of the other finishing positions, but you want to test early to see, maybe he is going to have himself a week, right? One of these well-established guys that can play well at this course, at this venue, and maybe ride with them on the first round leader.
I really like that thought for Louis, actually.
Yeah,
I'll have to see what his number is, but I really like that thought for Louis. Do we think Willie Z finally pulls one off? Nobody's mentioned him yet. Nobody's putting any faith into that.
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm going to ride with him for an outright. I have him written down right now as a top 20 play. It's not great. It's plus 160, but I think it's still a worthwhile play for Willie. Enough to say he's going to compete in the major, in the championship, he tends to. I was it now? Is it's now 7 for 13? I forget the exact number. We brought it up for the PGA. His top 10 conversion rate, he competes in big tournaments. So
yeah.
I'd be okay with playing it short at 160 on DK for Willie Z to go top 20.
Go ahead, Nick.
Mike, after your victorious win at the U.S. Open, that you're not going to pick Matt Fitzpatrick. I for sure thought you were going to pick him. English guy.
You don't double dip, Nicholas. We learned that from you don't double dip.
When that number hits the roulette on the roulette wheel, do you take that chip off or you leave it on? You at least leave the one you leave it on.
Leaves it on.
You leave it on there.
We're a few spins later, bro. I'm just leave it alone. And at 16-1 with this field, I hate that number.
He was coming,
and he's teeing off Tiger Woods first round.
And that's something that I think needs to be brought up. And because remember we talked about that the last time, Nick, when you were playing. Granted, he played with a big crowd come Sunday, but the Tiger crowd is different, and you're dealing with that for your first 2 days. A Tiger crowd that's going to make either him or Max Homa not make the cut, without a doubt in my mind.
Tiger's winding down. You don't know if he's going to finish the tournament because he's hurt. So when he's playing, the crowds are going to be big.
Yeah, I think that's going to really mess up the flow of their round the first 2 days. I would not be surprised if either one of them misses the cut. I'm not going to bet it, but I definitely think that is going to mess with their heads a little bit. You said Max Homa is already tweeting about it.
Oh yeah, he tweeted about it. He's done. He's like, "Oh, the golf gods are calling upon me. I'm playing with Tiger round one." Well, you just dug your own grave.
He gave himself the kiss of death.
Yeah,
Like me and Rob gave Cam the kiss of death, but like this dude's tweeting about his own tournament. Oh my god!
Yeah,
Max Homa missed cut without a doubt in my mind now.
I think if I was teeing off with Tiger Woods, British Open, St. Andrews, first round on that first tee, I think I would legitimately just die from a heart attack.
You're definitely having a stroke.
So don't bet me if I'm ever.
Duly noted. Yeah, I don't have a ton. Just I feel like this is one of those tournaments where we can get good numbers on big name guys halfway through, or good numbers on big name guys going into Friday. I don't feel the need to like pull the trigger on a lot of bets early, just because I feel like someone like Justin Rose is going to go off come Thursday, and then you're going to have some of the big name guys just like teetering in neutral, and then of course like this they could just turn it on Saturday, work themselves right back in it, and then they're competing on Sunday. I don't feel like this leaderboard is going to stay the same like at all.
Yeah, you have to remember it depends. Like if it's bad weather, if you luck out by either beating the weather in the morning or not having to deal with the weather in the afternoon, that's a big factor. If the wind dies down, if you're playing in windy conditions, I mean that could be 5 or 6 strokes harder than the guys playing in the afternoon if you're playing in the morning.
we saw that at the PG. The players, right? That wacky start stop and the weather. I mean it, and I was gonna say like we're in no business to predict the weather. Right? Anytime we've mentioned it, we've gotten it's completely different, including that tournament. So like, if it isn't windy, then I think like as you mentioned, I think it's gonna be very low scoring. You're gonna have close to 20 under, depending on how little wind there is. But if it picks up, then at the same time when I was looking at it, looking how to account for the wind, like is it going to be windy, is it not, and how does that mess with the guys you're looking at and how you're looking at how to kind of score these guys or model them. At the end of the day, the best players in the world, the better ball strikers, the guys that we're pulling for anyway, they generally play well in the wind as well, right? It kind of carries over, it kind of shines through on some of the better players.
For sure. Tommy Fleetwood winning it all. Book it.
It's a solid pick. What do you like in terms of? Are you putting together anything in terms of first round, Nicholas? In terms of first round leader or groupings or matchups?
Yeah. So for first round leader, I honestly like Spieth. And I honestly sometimes I like throwing a couple bucks at, like I said, those old timers. They show up like a Stuart Sink. He's honestly been playing in a couple tournaments this year, and he's been towards the top. Ian Poulter, like I said, these guys haven't had a great year, but sometimes they show up round one and then they kind of die off after that. So I think maybe some fun money towards them, because the odds are just ridiculous. So I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean So I like the Spieth play because my thing is when a guy like Spieth who like you mentioned earlier, plays well at this tournament, and when he plays well or is going to play well in a major, it is early and you'll see that early. So I love if you think he is going to play well or show up at this tournament. I do like playing him early in a first round leader bet.
Right.
I'm gonna make a note of that. I like that one too. I didn't realize. I think we actually lost Mike. Lost Mike totally.
I think he out there.
But all right, well, I think we know his point. So he likes the live action potentially, and his major play. He only plays guys Camden right now. I mean, of everything that we've went through so far, what's your favorite play?
I mean, honestly, I really like Tommy Fleetwood. Like I said, he had a rough couple of years. He's came back this year. I think he played pretty well last week. I think he's going to show up. I think it's his time to shine. So I'm going with Tommy. I really like Tommy for some reason.
I mean, sooner or later he's gonna get back towards the top of the leaderboard at a big tournament. And I mean, and of all places at this tournament, I can't hate the pick. So I kind of like it.
Who's your golden goose?
I told you Lowry's my favorite play. I have him right now listed at 22 to 1 on the outright. I also like him at top top 20. Another short top 20 at 130. I'll put it on Lowry in there. Top 5 he's at 475. So I like him across the board. So I'll look to hedge him on a day to day, like basis, like matchups or something, but. He in terms of everything I've looked at put together, I like Lowry and Cam, just like Mike said. Mike, you back? It looks like you're back from your technical difficulties.
Did you guys just witness that whole thing?
It went in and out.
I just acted like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going nuts, and then I come in. I'm like, I hope they didn't just hear everything I just said. I'm like cursing up a storm. Jeez Louise. All right.
I figured, again, just like I mentioned earlier, we're going to give you a pass because of all the hard work you've put into this golf season and the numbers you're putting up. So you keep up that good work, and you're allowed some downtime.
I appreciate that, and also like the working around Nicholas's confusing schedule. It's like I'm not good until 8:30, and then it's like our initial time is 7. Texts us at 7:03. Oh yeah, everything cleared up. I'm good. Like, oh, all right.
All right. I want to keep you on your toes.
Mike, we're running through. So of everybody we went through, overall, just favorite plays on the finishing positions. Yours. Cam Smith outright 28 to 1. You have anything else that you like other than that, or you're just looking live action at that point?
I really don't like any of the numbers on the golfers that I do want to bet. So I think I'm just going to sit and wait, see what pops up. Probably come like Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday.
I was going to say Friday after everyone's done is like some of the best time to get good odds on good players that are in the hunt. Even if you're 8 strokes back, 7 strokes back, after what Justin Thomas did at the PGA, so you can never count any of these guys out.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Could you imagine what was he back? 7 strokes? And it was like, it was like 550 to 1 at that point in the tournament. That's insane. Did you guys go through like?
What was I going to say? If you always just throw some money on Tiger, I feel like you have to, some amount, because if he wins and you don't bet him, then you're just an asshole. Like, if by some miracle he wins, do you bet? Yeah, I feel like you have to. But the thing is these sports books know, like Tiger's so far down the rankings, but they don't give them the don't give them the greatest odds because they know a bunch of people are going to hammer him no matter what. So he's
a 6-figure liability at Vegas.
Exactly.
At least one book that I read today.
So you bet him before the tournament, you're not getting the greatest odds just because of that reason.
I mean, you'll never get a good number on Tiger. I'm not going to bet him. Maybe if he makes the cut, maybe. But like, I got to make sure he could play a full 36. Yeah. And I know he's going to grind it out. I don't mean it like that, but like his body, he's half metal at this point. And I just feel like in the windy, damp conditions, like that can't be good on his metal joints.
Yeah.
Like that has to hurt.
He gets a bad lie, like one of those funky bunker shots or in that high fescue, his leg might just fall off.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he wasn't supposed to have one not that long ago is nuts. And he's playing. Did you guys go through like the late tier dark horse picks for the pools? Because like you were saying, like golf pools for majors are such a big deal nowadays that I feel like we need to touch on a couple names.
Yeah, no. So, so I have it up in front of me actually. So most of obviously, like everybody's tiering is different from what I found in the different pools. Usually, like you said, the major pools, but the tiers that I have up and what we usually go by when we play any major pools are the official World Golf rankings tiers, where you have it broken down by the top 50. In the top 5 tiers, and then the tier 6 is essentially everybody in the field after top 50. So, looking at it, and I have a good one for you guys. A couple. I mean, not too many. Some of the names we mentioned. So let's look at like tier 5. You have essentially you're anywhere from top 40, the 42nd to 51st in the world. A couple names that you guys mentioned: Adam Scott, Mito Pereira, Ryan Fox, Justin Rose, Cameron Tringali had a big week last week. These are some of the guys. Keegan Bradley, in that tier. Who do you guys like out of that tier? If someone's looking for a pick out of that group.
I like Rose. Like I said, he screwed me in the Masters, but I feel like he'll make his way up there somehow.
I really like Justin Rose. Like Nicholas has sold me on him, but I'm not going to pick him. I'll take Keegan Bradley. Maybe we get a Keegan Bradley resurgence in his career at this point. I mean, he played really well at the Open.
Yeah.
He had a really good showing. Nicholas, you were pretty spot on about that one. Maybe we get a Keegan Bradley resurgence.
I mean, this is some like top secret level R&D, prior to Thursday. But I'll put this out there for the people. I'm liking 2 hot picks because like when I look at it, it's like if you're looking at it from a pool perspective, who's going to be the most popular? So is Rose going to be a popular pick? I mean, maybe with his name in this grouping, could be Adam Scott. I'm sorry, I don't know if I mentioned Adam Scott. Adam Scott's also in this tier, so that's another popular name. So I'm looking 2 names that I like right off the bat. One name we mentioned, Ryan Fox. Both names, and Mito Pereira. I like both those names in this group, and I'm kind of torn between the 2. But I would take a stab on either one in this group.
I'm afraid that I was 2 tournaments too early on Ryan Fox. I think he's going to be up there come Sunday because he's made a surge in the world golf rankings of late. So I have a feeling he's going to pop up on the scene very soon. Well, I'm not mad at that pick by you, Rob.
Jumping ahead of tier because you're talking about official world golf ranks, and I kind of did a double take here. Bryson DeChambeau listed at 33 in the world. I was kind of surprised to see him down at tier 4.
So, but now he just starts dropping, right? Because he's in live, right?
And how they accumulate points, I guess that would be how it works, right?
I think live has got. They don't think or World Golf Rankings hasn't accepted live yet. I'm surprised. I was surprised. I thought he was out with his hand for a while. I guess because he just had a really good year last year.
33's been too high for him. He's not even remotely close to a top 33 golfer in the world.
I was always iffy about him, and then after he moved to live, and he's just an official bum now.
I'll give him 50. He's okay. He won the Open, but like besides that, he hasn't done. He won the Open in the Rocket Mortgage one time. Yeah. No.
I mean, with the Instagram videos he posts, you think he's in like the longest drive contest. Him and his buddies like chest bump each other after he hits a hard drive.
It's like 6 shirtless dudes at like a golf simulator. It's like, you guys are the worst. All right, Rob, give me the next tier. I can't.
Now that everybody knows clearly where you both stand on Bryson DeChambeau. In tier 4, he's up against Cam Young, Thomas Peters, Tommy Fleetwood, your boy Nicholas, Jason Kokrak, Seamus Power. Oh, here's your boy Mike Harold Warner III.
Oh, come on.
Taylor Gooch, Patrick Reed. Which names jump out to you?
What tier is this?
This is tier 4. So 32nd to 41st ranked. I
mean, that's a really tough one.
It's a solid tier. I mean, 2 of your favorites, both of your favorites are right there in that tier.
God, if I don't pick Harold Varner, I know he's going to just have an unreal tournament. But I have a question, not golf related. Why is Cam Young sponsored by Major League Baseball?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. He has a patch on his every golf shirt. It says MLB, like the MLB logo. Does that make any sense to anybody?
Maybe it's just a free thing that he does. I don't know.
Probably.
MLB so much. He's like, yeah, I gotta put your patch on my shirt.
Yeah, he's such a baseball head, I guess. Give me, man, I like Cam Young in that group though. Give me Harold Varner. I can't ever go against my guy.
Fleetwood all the way.
Solid. I'm kind of torn here. Again, I think Fleetwood would be a little bit too popular if I'm playing. Well, this is a tough one for me.
It's gonna be a tough pool. It's gonna be a very tough pool.
I have to give this one a little bit more thought. I'd lean like taking a shot with a guy like Peters. Otherwise, I don't trust Gooch right now. And none of the other names are like I said, they're either going to be too popular to pick in this tier, or don't excite me too much. I might take a shot with Thomas Peters there.
All right, are there any other bets that we want to add to the slate? I'm like tapped out.
I mean, I would say one guy I forgot about is Paul Casey, but he DQ'd. He DQ'd from where did he DQ from? PGA or the U.S. Open. I forgot about Paul Casey. He's one of the older guys, but still really good. I just thought I have to look into see if he's still healthy. I forget why he DQ'd that one major.
I think he had a hand issue. Something was wrong with them. I love Paul Casey. That's my favorite golfer ever.
I'm surprised. He's like Mike calls out last call, as in like, hey, like
I forgot my favorite golfer.
And then Nicholas brings up Paul Casey, and I'm like,
of all people.
So, either how bad does he want to wrap this up? Because this can go on a little bit more now.
I know.
Relationship with Paul Casey.
Oh man, Paul Casey, just a model Englishman. Just a model Englishman. Great guy. Even better golfer. I'm pulling for him. Shit, I hope he wins it. That'll make me so happy on Sunday.
Did he move to live? He moved to live, didn't he?
I don't think so.
No,
dude, he hasn't been golfing at all lately. I haven't seen him really
hurt.
Yeah, he's been hurt. So I think there's like no shot. Dude, I saw his odds. He's like 300 to 1 or something. And he's got they're saying he's still pretty banged up.
Paul Casey signed with the Live.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking my talents to Live.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me. He's a journeyman.
He's older.
They have too much firepower to not like figure out a way to give them like world ranking points. I mean, there's enough guys there where you got some big names there now.
No, there's some serious golfers there, boys. Are we done here? I feel like we have 0 viewers at this point. 40 minutes into the golf podcast, I feel like I'm good.
We've tapped it out. I mean, you got to remember, you got to get up nice and early every morning if you want to follow along in this tournament. So you're gonna.
Let's get our sleep schedules together. We'll be in touch. All right, everybody, follow us on Twitter. We're up 60 some odd unit. No, not almost 60 units. So I mean, get with the program at this point.
Make it 60.
It might as well be 60. We'll round up. All right, boys.